Hey guys, just a reminder, this is not official medical advice. For such, please seek an appointment with a licensed medical provider.
And welcome to another episode of The Talk. This isn't really the podcast talk, but here
It might be.
it could be. It could be. Bo and I just did an episode talking about some of the trends that he is making that have had really pretty drastic data point changes on in-body scans. So we've talked about some of the incretin hormone therapy, tirzepatide, which is a big hot topic right now, and safe ways to do it while still increasing your protein intake, physical activity, and you notice muscle gain with belly fat loss, which is what we want. You also notice visceral fat loss. This is also in conjunction with hormone replacement therapy with testosterone, and not crazy amounts of testosterone, and a little bit of the peptide class, which is sermorelin, which increases your insulin growth factor. These are called the secretagogues that tell your body to produce more of a particular hormone. So now today there's a big topic and discussion, I guess, debate about microdosing.
Yeah.
And Dad has mentioned it, Dr. Rogers has mentioned microdosing the tirzepatide, semaglutide, incretin hormone class. The only one in the the retail pharmaceutically available compounds of Ozempic. Ozempic can be microdosed because people will do different clicks. It's not recommended, so the FDA wants you to have specific doses for a specific amount of time. What we're finding is that when you do these in compounds for non-FDA approved dosing in custom available dosing for non-FDA approved indications. So are we doing it for inflammation? Are we doing it for migraines? Are we doing it for autoimmune joint pain? So none of those are FDA approved, but can be written for a compound. And are we doing non-pharmaceutically available doses? So the doses with Mounjaro, with Zepbound, have particular incremental doses that are very specific, 2.5 milligrams up to 15 milligrams. With the other product line, with the semaglutide, which is the Ozempic and Wegovy, those are available between 0.25 milligrams up to 2.4 milligrams. When you get the compound, the interesting part, I was going to say fun part, which I always say in the room, it's fun because you get to play around with these doses, and many people get to try these because it's for reasons that are non-FDA approved, meaning that your insurance isn't going to approve it unless it's diabetes or weight loss. And then again, with weight loss, most insurances are not covering it, and you have to meet a $6,000 deductible. So this makes it available for more people to try these out, and you can see crazy cool results for fat loss and muscle gain. So microdosing. Technical definition, if I can remember off the top of my head, is that it's a dose that is subtherapeutic with a positive effect. When you think of microdosing, you really think of like psilocybins and like people microdosing LSD off the black market. We're talking more about custom or tailored.
Yes, I think that's where the wording is, because really, even not just your dad. If you listen to any of these other influencers out there that admit that they use it or they prescribe it, they'll say in microdosing, but they never say a dose ever.
No, yeah,
they never say a dose, and because it is because it's for kind of for off-label use for other things too. It's like somebody like yourself. If you were taking it, do you need it for weight loss? No. Like, but are you using it to block some inflammatory issues and things like that? Like
with an autoimmune
and we don't really know where that line is, so we're going to start with a microdose.
Right.
And that would be different for you as it would be for me.
Absolutely.
I mean, like talked about before, when I started mine, I'm still at a microdose. Really, I'm still at a microdose because I'm not reached a threshold of anywhere close to the starting dose.
Which is really cool, and you still get to see results on it.
And that's what microdosing is. Some people want to know when they come in, like, I've been hearing about this microdosing, as people say to us. So like, yeah, it's because but I can't tell you exactly what that dose is. And it's also has to do, like, is it lower or different than a starting dose? Yes. And it is, where does it go up and how much do you go up? It depends on the results you're getting. You may not ever need to go up. That starting dose may be your sweet spot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that too, I think whenever we think of, if we're thinking of three different definitions, a microdose, a custom dose, or a tailored dose, custom and tailored dose would mean the same thing to me. That there's a particular number of units or milligrams or milliliters, so these are all the same thing, or all different measures to say how much am I giving and how often am I giving it. So technically what is out there from a FDA standard for these particular compounds is that it is once weekly, every 7 days, at particular incremental doses with 1 dose per month. When we do custom dosing, we kind of can lengthen that out with the time so that we can do it actually, you're going to say at this particular dose, you're actually going to do it every 5 days and every 7 days. Or actually, you're going to do it every 9 to 10 days instead of every 7 days. For a longer duration or even maybe a little bit of a shorter duration. Say a patient has come in and they've been on some samples of Wegovy, but they really want to do semaglutide. Do they necessarily need to start at that first dose for a month? No, they can start at maybe
it's the same thing.
Same thing, yeah. So too, it's tailored, and I think that many people, and from what I'm reading online too, is that people are doing it. Even though this is a drug that stays in your system, so it stays in your system, it's supposed to be really active for about 5 to 9 days. It's supposed to be completely washed out of your system within 5 weeks.
That's one of the things that I tell patients, like when you're starting this, even if you're starting at a low dose, don't try to go up on your next week because somebody did that.
I did that years ago with Victoza. I did not follow the Victoza. I worked for Novo Nordisk as a pharmaceutical rep, and I got Victoza prescribed to me to see if it made my insulin requirements decrease, and it did. I was like, oh, I don't feel a dang thing. Pop. I was like, oh,
yeah,
I feel it now
because it like compounds itself the next dose a little bit. It's kind of like with that longer duration, that 7 to 10 days. It's like it's still there. It's not gone, even though and you might not have felt it on your initial dose because it wasn't there before.
And it doesn't mean the drug is bad.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Most people are like, "Oh my God, that's the worst thing. It's the worst drug." It's like, okay, the drug's not bad. Just the way that we went about it wasn't the best for your particular body.
And it also with the compounding, the microdosing, the individualized dosing the patient can have, it also gives the patient a little bit of liberty to not make big jumps, because that's where we see side effects sometimes.
And two, that's what traditional mainstream really harks on. Oh, I don't trust my patient. I'm not let my. I've heard providers say this from in a very traditional setting. I don't want my patients being able to choose their dose. Are you kidding me? I've had pharmaceutical reps tell me that they shouldn't be able to. We don't trust them. It's like I would really have a problem if a provider didn't trust me as a patient to say, hey, I'm not going to trust you with it. We need to lock you into these doses. And that's what the one and dones do.
To defend regular medicine to that perspective, they don't have the time and they don't take the time to educate.
That's true.
To where if you come see a place like us in general, or other places that take the time to talk to patients, to educate the patients, then you can have a little bit of a trust and relationship with your patients.
And we get a little bit of a different patient profile.
Yes.
We get very motivated patients who know what they're doing, and sometimes you're right. I should, maybe.
But I think that's good to know. Is like that it's not that they don't trust you, but they just don't have the time. It's their system that they're set up in. They don't have the time to sit there and say, hey, we can do all this. This is what this is going to do. This is what this is going to do. This is what your nutrition needs to be. This is you need to be working out, blah, 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 blah. Where we do that. Mm-hmm. And we don't say the blah, 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 blah.
Exactly. And we even do so. What with if you end up coming and seeing us and doing one of these incretin hormone classes, which is semaglutide, tirzepatide, those are the big compounds, where we can write it so that we are doing it for a non-FDA approved dose in a custom formulation so that we don't get the negative GI side effects, we don't have to move up as fast, and it can be tailored to your particular medical history or situation so that it can be custom. I'm saying it 1,000 different ways to say the same thing, that
it's patient-centered, patient-focused dosing.
Yes.
And
it is you're able to actually write it this way, because a lot of patients come in and say, is this legal? And it's like, yes, it is legal. If you need it compounded in a way that there is not an FDA approved dose or FDA approved medication for what we're trying to write it for, you can get it compounded.
So, I was going to say something. Oh, one other thing about these medications is people come in expecting tremendous things with whatever they're trying to get accomplished, whether it is some weight issues or whatnot. Like, give it time.
Yeah.
And you got to do the right things to improve on what it can do for you.
Yeah.
But you have to incorporate correct nutrition, correct exercise, all those things. I had a patient, and don't just always look at the scale. I had a patient come in the other day, and she wasn't really, she was fine with what she had lost. She hadn't lost a whole lot, but she looked great. And I don't know if it was just a little bit of weight loss that she had, or is her inflammation just way down, because she said she looked great and she felt great. Because it's doing other things besides manipulating that system. It's decreasing your overall inflammation of your body, helping out other metabolic processes, and just helping your body function.
For the metabolically challenged.
Yes.
For the metabolically challenged.
And how many percent? 93.2% of Americans are metabolically challenged?
Yeah. I'm metabolically challenged? How? Yes. Gosh, if you
for real, there's only about 7% of the population that doesn't have any elevation of any metabolic marker.
That's crazy. It's not crazy, because our food sourcing is just off. And we're doing this, I feel like people are really down and all that. It's like people are really trying to make the food sourcing better.
And we harp a lot on carnivore, keto, focus on proteins and animal-based proteins, but even if, because you're not getting what you used to get from vegetables particularly, and I've heard people talk about it this way. It's like, you don't really need to eat more vegetables. We just need a better vegetable.
Right. We need a
better quality food.
And this just helps out with, like, hey, this is a situation that we have in a modern world, in a very highly developed first world country that doesn't have a lot of great food resources. We try. This is a tool. It's a really great tool that can help some patients out. Some people don't need it and others do. And so with what you'll get as a guide from us, if you end up going along this journey, we do have a dosing guide that kind of gives us a framework. And I think I see it more as a framework to say, here's the dosings that we can play with. There are in between doses, but we at least have a playground and a guide to go off of that can then be tailored to you based on what your experience is.
And it's tailored as we go through the journey.
Yeah.
Like, are you getting good results on this? Yeah, but it could be better, but I did have some little side effects here and there. Like, hey, then don't make that big jump to that next dose. Cut it in half, or go up a few units and see how that feels.
Yes.
And it's like I said, it kind of empowers the patient a little bit more.
Tailored to you. Let's make it custom, okay? Not everybody's the same, okay?
No.
Not everybody. Everybody is somebody, but not your body. I'm just trying to come up with taglines. Join us next time. We're going to talk a little bit more about maybe this is called Talking Trends. Maybe that's what we can call this. There's a lot of trends in medicine right now, both traditional and non-traditional, both integrative and holistic. And we can kind of discuss the different things that are going on and what works for patients and what may not work for patients. So until next time.
Don't go away.